Hello everyone, John Rush, Drive Radio. My son Richard Rush is behind the camera, and today we're reviewing the all-new 2016 Mazda. This is the CX-3, and this is the Grand Touring version of the vehicle that we're actually going to review for you today. So they make this in a Sport, a Touring, and a Grand Touring. This car, as it sits, is about $29,000 and some change. It does start out, though. You can buy this car in its basic format for under $20,000. So frankly, great car. I'll tell you that, or tell you my opinion of it when we get to the end of the review. I'll give you my opinion. But come around the front. Let's check out the front. Look at the way the front of the vehicle looks. It's a good-looking vehicle. I really like the way the vehicle looks from the side. I've seen several of these now driving around. In fact, the other day, I actually passed one, the exact same color, wheel package, everything. And really, the car looks fantastic going down the road. So just a few little facts that I want to talk to you about is the CX-3 has got what they call iActive four-wheel drive, which basically means it's basically through multiple sensors, things that are on the vehicle, it's basically sensing what's going to happen to you in the vehicle. So it uses things like temperature and wheel speed and all sorts of other data that it's collecting. And what's different about it versus other systems is it reacts to what it thinks you're going to do next and then adjusts accordingly, where a lot of vehicles, it detects wheel slippage and then it does what it needs to get all of the traction or all the power to the wheel with the most traction. In this particular case, it's going to sense what you're doing next and then make those adjustments accordingly. The other thing it's got in it is, of course, the 2-liter engine. It's 146 horsepower. Some would say that it's a little bit down on power. I actually think the car runs great, and at our elevation, it actually works out fantastic. So I had to make a list of this to give you some of the standard features that come on the CX-3, which, by the way, for its price point, it's going to be hard-pressed. You'll be hard-pressed to find anything else that's got this many standard features. Lane departure warning, rear cross-traffic alert, a smart brake support system, rear camera, smart city braking support, radar cruise control, and blind spot monitoring. And again, all of that for just under $29,000. So let's go take a ride. We'll come back. I'll walk you through the interior, and then I'll give you my opinion of the 2016 Mazda CX-3 all-wheel drive Grand Touring Edition. All right, we're going to do a driving test now, or a driving portion. I know it's always hard for you to really understand and feel what the vehicle's like, but we try to give you just an idea of what the vehicle's like. You know, I know there's a little bit of camera shake sometimes, more in some cars, less than others. Some of that has to do with the ride, the position of where we put the camera. There's no way to put a tripod inside, and even if we did, you'd still get that bounce out of it. But let's take a real quick drive. A few things that I want to mention before we start driving is this particular vehicle, and part of it is because of the shape of the interior and so on, but it has a great sound system, and I love the soft touch materials throughout, the contouring colors that are inside this Grand Touring Edition. It's a great looking car, and they've really done a great job on the interior. I love the display here. It's very easy to navigate. All that can be done similar to what Audi, BMW, Lexus, a lot of the other luxury cars have. You can control that right here. Let me fold this up. So the knobs right here is how you control what's going on with the radio. So if I want to, go to a different band, AM, FM, XM, whatever I want to do, I just go up here, click that. That particular band comes up. If I want to tune, I just go over to where I want to tune, click that, and it'll tune and scan and do all the different things I want to do. You can hook up your phone, of course, via Bluetooth. All those capabilities are here. Volume knob is right below it, and all of your navigation things are right here. Your different modes for sport and so on are right here in the middle, so you can actually push this up for sport, turn it off. So really, it's a sport mode or not a sport mode. Of course, the shifter in the middle, little storage compartment here, USB ports, and a power port right here, and a CD, what am I trying to say? Where you can play CDs. The CD slot is right here. 2 cup holders, as I'll talk about here in a little bit ago. There's a negative to those that I'll get to here in just a minute, so I won't go through that right now. One thing, though, that's really cool about Mazda, and Richard, if you can hand me the camera, I'll do my best to show you this, is the heads-up display. So if you can see that right in front of me, there's a little glass that flips up. There's heads-up display. Gives me all sorts of information, including lane departure warning, all those different things. Mazda's idea is, let's make this cockpit as centric as possible so that as a driver, I'm not having to look all around me to figure out what's going on. Everything I can do on a Mazda, I just glance, I know what's going on, everything's easy to touch. So, I move my hand over here, I can look right here, see what I'm doing. Everything is to keep my eyes on the road, which anytime you can keep your eyes on the road, things are going to be safer. So, let's take a quick drive. Let me put it in reverse first, because it does have the backup camera. And it does not have grids. I mean, it's got a grid, but the grids do not turn. So you can see that the backup camera is stationary, or the grid lines are stationary, but it still gives you an idea of where you're at. It does help on the parking side of the fence, and this does have the rear collision alert, which I talked about earlier, which is another cool feature that this car comes with. So as we get going here, one of the other complaints I've got, and again, it's not a huge complaint, is, you know, this car is a little bit noisy on the inside. It's a full bore, you know, sedan SUV type vehicle where there's a lot of glass, a lot of underbody you can hear. There's no trunk is what I'm getting at, so you're hearing all of the underbody of the car. So it is a little bit noisier vehicle than what you typically might find in some higher end vehicles. But again, for under $30,000 with all of the different equipment you get on this car, you know what, I'll put up with a little bit of the road noise for that particular price point. So Mazda, again, that's not a knock. You guys have done a great job. All of the SkyActiv technology that you guys are now using in all of your cars, it works out fantastic. I'll talk about it at the end in my opinion portion, but 36 miles to the gallon in this car, man, that is hard to beat. This car works fantastic. And again, you look at the price point for all of what you get here, $36,000, sorry, $29,000 and some change, 36 miles to the gallon, and the car just works fabulous. So tell you what, let's go back and I'll walk you through the rest of the interior of the 2016 Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring Edition. All right, we hope you enjoyed the driving portion of the vehicle, and as we always say, my son's really the one that reminds everybody of this even more than I do. If you're interested in this vehicle, you've got to get behind the wheel. Don't take our word for it or any other reviewer's word for it. You've got to get behind the wheel, because everybody has a different flavor, different taste, different driving style, body type, you name it. You need to be the one to make that decision. But let's open up the rear hatch. And again, it's just got a button back here. It's not an automatic hatch, but again, it's lightweight, easy to open up. And surprisingly enough, pretty good storage back here. As you can see, this slopes back pretty good. So, you know, are you going to get two full-size suitcases back here? Not without folding down the rear seats. You will not. So you'll get a couple of carry-on bags. Even a set of golf clubs is going to be tight in here without putting the rear seats down. You'll have to be the judge of that, but it is tight. But this is a small vehicle. Again, you got to remember, this is a really small entry-level SUV segment for Mazda. This is a new car for them. It's basically the CX-5 all shrunk down. You can see that by looking at what we're showing you. So letting it back down, just grab a hold, pop it down. Again, it's very lightweight, so it's easy. Okay, real quick. This seat, I'm 5'10". This seat here is all the way back. I'm going to climb in. We put this back on purpose, and you'll notice in these headrests here have to come up for me. You'll notice my knees are touching. Okay, now, could I get by with it? If this seat went forward a few inches, would I be fine? Yes, I'm 5'10", and I would be fine. It's going to be hard pressed to get 3 full-size adults in the back seat of this. So I would consider this a 4-passenger vehicle, even small children in the middle. You're going to have somebody really, really small, and if they're that small, they're going to have to be in a booster seat or a car seat. So there again, it's really a 4-passenger vehicle. This car does have a sunroof in it that we'll talk about here in just a minute. Grab handles. One thing about it I will say that I do like, you know, if you look at the Grand Touring Edition that we're sitting in, again, just under $30,000. Nice, you know, soft touch material. So hard plastic here, but soft touch here, carbon fiber look here. Again, for under $20,000, they've done a really good job, and I love the two-tone accents. As I climb out for you ladies, they've sloped this down well enough where you're going to get out. That part works well. They've got the wheel position back enough. That part works out great. So I'll tell you what, let's climb around to the front seat, and I'll talk to you about some of the front seat features, and I'll give you my opinion of the 2016 Mazda CX-3. All right, I'm now going to show you the rest of the interior. I'm in the front seat, and a few quick things, and these were some things that I will say are some negatives for me. Not huge negatives. Center console, or really not even a center console, the armrest is what I'm trying to get at. The way it's positioned, you know, it's not bad. What I found, though, is if you've got any kind of a water bottle or anything in the cup holders underneath here, you're constantly moving this in and out of the way to get your bottles in and out. Not a big deal. There are some cup holders over in the sides where you can put a water bottle. Again, you got to look at the price of this particular vehicle. Richard's now showing you the side panel over there. Again, there's a little bit of a brushed aluminum look, some of the soft touch on the material, nice Bose sound system that we talked about in the driving portion. And real quick, I do want to show you the seats. Again, the Grand Touring Edition, really, really nice. They've done a nice job on the seats, and these are both heated seats. Again, lots of standard features that you're getting in this Mazda CX-3. And as you can tell, I'm really a fan of this car. Drove this car a lot this last week. and I'll be honest, it did not disappoint in the least. It's very ergonomically friendly. Everything is well within reach. It's easy to control everything. Everything on the steering wheel is easy to navigate. The car just works great, and we showed you in the driving portion the heads-up display, which again comes standard on this particular car. Mazda, you've done a great job, so I tell you what, let me climb out and I'll give you my opinion of the 2016 Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring Edition. All right, my opinion of the 2016 Mazda CX-3 and the Grand Touring Edition. Again, it comes in 3 different versions. Go to the Mazda website, check all that out for yourself, and all the different details that we've talked about in the review. Go to the website and check that out. So what do I think of this vehicle? Number one, great fuel economy. Its average fuel economy on the window sticker is a highway of 31. I'm not exaggerating. I got 36 in this car, and I drove it just like I drive any other car. Didn't baby it, didn't hot rod it. 36 miles to the gallon, and part of that was actually driving up I-70 to an event that I had to go to, and I still averaged 36 miles to the gallon. So this car works fantastic. It's a great buy for the money. You know, what are some of the negatives that I've got? It's small, okay? You're going to have to realize that. That's why we say go out, get inside this vehicle. We showed you the rear hatch portion of it a moment ago, and you know, when you're looking at that rear hatch area, there's not a lot of storage. So a two-person car, yeah, this car would work fantastic for. 3 people or more, 4 people or more, even a couple with a couple of small children, it's going to be tight, even if you've got a couple of kids, by the time you put anything into the back. Not a huge con, because you got to remember, this car is priced under $30,000 and actually starts out in the high teens. That's a great buy for a great vehicle, and this one being all-wheel drive fits our Colorado climate. Excellent. So go check out this vehicle at your local Mazda dealer. Tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.